Good morning. Um, I put on lip gloss for this video just to motivate myself to shoot it. It's peppermint flavored, so a little peppermint flavored lip gloss, gets you going. I am frustrated with human beings right now. And I'm trying to work my way through this because I understand that it took me years and years and years of solitude and personal development and prayer and meditation and yoga and shadow work and crying and being celibate. And I realize that most people out there haven't put that time in, so they're not aware of anything. However, I have to deal with them. And then as being a single woman, that's my dating pool too, it's my non-dating pool. It's pretty much my issue with the dating pool is there isn't much. I can't say that because I'm sure people are watching this. There's a few men out there that I would seriously consider as suitors if they decided to court me. My frustration with people are twofold. There's the romantic part, and I do want to talk about this. Even though every time I talk about this, I get like 1,000 messages from like robots a day saying sexual things to me. I'm gonna just keep deleting that and keep talking the way I want to talk, regardless of being swarmed by predatorial. I don't know if they're robots or just predators. So I'm babbling a little. Okay, number one, I am realizing, so I quit my job because I don't want to be a part of this system, and I am unemployed, and I want no part of the government. I realized that there are a bunch of people around me that I thought were aligned with me on this, and it seems like a no-brainer because, what the government is doing to us. I'm realizing now that a lot of these people are taking assistance from the government, like public assistance from the government. And one really hit me hard. I don't want to get personal into people's lives, but like almost everyone I know, and I'm like, that's not anti-government. And then the logic is, of course, well, I deserve it because, X, I worked X, or I served in the military, or this and that, so I deserve welfare. I'm like, we're buying ourselves into a welfare state, one individualistic decision at a time. Let me repeat that. One individualistic, and that's my problem. These individualistic decisions are killing us. And then I have to sit there and watch people very close to me do things that I'm like directly, like this is ruining us all. I understand that it's the best personal decision for you because the government's giving this money, but it's going to kill us all. A, B, like I don't take money from people who I don't agree with what they're doing. Like I just don't. So I mean, I guess one part of it, I would want to try not to be a martyr because one part of it is, I get to sit here and watch other people, be unemployed and, in protest of this government and then them benefit from the government. And this has been a big struggle that I've had. Like you freaking people go on Facebook and scream and yell about how much you don't like these government regulations and this and that. And then I see you in a mask in like fucking 7-Eleven. I'm like, why would you? Oh, I had to get it. I'm like, no, part of like being a revolutionary and part of being a Christian is you sacrifice a lot. You don't do things that you are against. You know. So the lesson here for me is I need to learn how to not personalize the decisions of others, but it's like this government assistance thing has me so sick that I don't even want to talk to people now. Like I just realized like a lot of people that I thought were on the same path of me are just aren't. And then the dating thing, which I'm not dating. I haven't been out on a date in forever. So when I was practicing law, I did this thing called It's Just Lunch. It was over $5,000 for a dating coach. I was like, I want to find a husband. I went to her. My dating coach loves me too. I said, look, I'm a conservative Christian. I want to get married. I'm not going to, have sex before I get married. She was like, okay. I'm like, but I, have some really good offerings. I cook every day. I have my emotional and spiritual health under balance. I don't lie. And my dating coach knows me. She's been working with me for 6 months now. And what it came down to was just all the men that I was being set up for. First off, I live in the middle of nowhere, so to go on a date is a whole day going to be an all day excursion for me. Because they usually take me to like an hour and 15 minutes away, but I live 45 minutes from like anywhere anyway. So, it's going to be an all day event. And it was just a bunch of men. The one at this level of dating, when someone has to pay over $5,000 to date, I did get rid of the guys who were trying for casual sex, but then I developed this whole new cache of types of men who are like just physically very unhealthy. I could see why they were paying to find a woman, because they had their shit together mostly financially, I'm assuming, because they were paying $5,000 to find a girlfriend or a wife, but a $5,000 upfront plus $100 a month. So it's like I have this damn service now, and I didn't want to use it. And it's like one part of me is like, okay, Nicole, a guy's gonna come if a man comes, but another part of me, like, God's like, dude, you're gonna have to like get out there a little. I don't leave the house much, and this Facebook doesn't look like I'm gonna do this. And this is important to me. I think my life goal is going to be best accomplished as a married woman. Those are my skills lie. Furthermore, I help other people. I'm a healer. So a man out there that has like, his own development ready and is looking for a wife, it's like he's doing without today and tomorrow and yesterday too, as much as I am. So, the dating thing. So there was a few like clashes on Facebook in the last few, like 24 hours that made me realize like I've gone my whole life with like kind of, I've always dated way below what I should be dating, because I'm always like, you should give every guy a chance, because you always hear the whole like hypergamy argument. I'm like, yeah, yes, I want the man that's gonna make my life the best, and he should want the same, because I'm gonna make someone's life really good, And this morning, this is what kind of made me drop this video. This guy, and I like him, he's nice, but I would never date this person, because he just whines about how women don't like him all the time. And I'm like, well, what do you have to offer? Like every man that hits on me, I'm like, cool, okay, I'll tell you what my offerings are. What are your offerings? And then they say that I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life, that I demand too much. I'm like, I just want someone to make my life better who's a man. Like, I want a man who takes care of a woman, who is going to support a woman. And that's not, and I my biblical obligation, the flip side, is something that I'm totally willing to take seriously, have taken seriously. And, I'm giving my future husband the gift of celibacy, which I would think that like people, the right man will understand that. I'm like, I'm not having sex until I'm married. That means there's a man out there that I'm waiting for. Like that's, that's the implication there. A lot of people want to flip it to the other side of, a lot of men are like, so, basically you're trying to trap me, and then you're going to have sex with me and have me, like, trap you and do what? Cook for you every night and take care of you and give you sex once we're married? I mean, I don't know where the entrapment is going on there. I have been talking to a lot of people about the dating game, and it appears that the Facebook is filled with like fake women. And I understand now why men like treat me so weird. Us. There's a bunch of women that I've been talking to that are like me, a lot like me. Good-looking women, have their shit together, who believe in God, who are spiritual, and we just are all single. And that's why whenever a man I see online talks about like, oh, bitches aren't worth it, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what kind of women are you like looking at? And I'm sure, and if a guy who is doing videos or is in the same place as me would like to tell me what the dating game is like for men right now, please do. But the dating game is just, not good right now. To the men that I do see who have their life together, who are real men, who can chop wood, who have good bodies, who work out, that's very important to me, okay? Like, this is just, if you drink or smoke cigarettes or don't eat processed food and don't work out every day, like, I'm just not interested. Like, physical attraction is very important to me, and I'm not a bad looking woman. I understand that I'm a little bit older, but I have the body of a 30-year-old because I take care of my body and I have very good genes. I'm probably going to live to be 100. So like that's a main problem having these men. I'm like, I don't know how to say this nicely. I'm like, do you really think like, why would I date you? Like, you look like you've been eating hamburgers for the last few years and your skin looks unhealthy. So, I just babbling on and on about the problems with men is not that. I want someone I'm physically attracted to. And, I get a lot of the, oh, you won't give me a chance. I'm like, well, when's the last time you go into the gym? Go to the gym for a year, then come back to me. Like, go to the gym daily. Not even a year. I've been working out hard for 3 or 4 months. And I'm definitely like, I could walk around in a string bikini right now. And that was just 3 or 4 months of like hardcore dedication to diet and exercise. That's all it took. I understand that I have good genes and I'm good looking just because I was born. But most people, if you just like give your body a little bit of love, you'll look good. So that's my thing. I mean, it's just like it's like layers of dating problems. Like first you have to go through all these robots. If you're looking on Facebook, like 80% of the men are robots. And then you have to deal with these men who think they deserve just for being and resent women for not liking them. And I'm like, well, what is there to like? You just are. I mean, what have you accomplished? What's your project? What are you working on? What are you building? What's your vision for your life? Like, other than getting up, going to work, coming home, getting up, going to work, coming home, like, what are you doing? And this is reciprocal. I can give you a resume of what I'm doing in my life that makes me a better wife. And then the second part is the physical attraction, which all my life I've dated men that aren't as good looking as me. Like I've never been with, I'm going to cry about this. I've never been with a man that I was like actually physically attracted to. I've always kind of just been like, this is good enough. Like I haven't had a boyfriend yet that I've looked across the room and been like, now it's going to be a husband, but I've looked across the room and been like, I really want to fuck him. Shouldn't say that word, but probably going to get every robot in the world. But I'm talking about my husband, not a boyfriend here. But I want that. I want like a passion. I want someone who I look at his body. I'm like, damn, that's a good male specimen form. And I want him to look at me like that too, like objectify me too. I want that too. I look pretty for a reason. I understand that men like pretty things. And one of my motivations of getting in better shape was because I do understand that there's a man out there that will appreciate that I am in peak physical form, from diet to exercise to mental health to just taking, care of my daily self. But like I've never been in a relationship with someone I'm attracted to. I've never had like a healthy sexual relationship with someone who I'm attracted to. It's always been like okay, he has everything else. I guess I'll just put up with this. And I'm just like, I'm done with that. And I don't know how to tell men that. Like, I get PMs from men. I'm like, I'm not even slightly, it's like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know what to say. You look unhealthy. And I understand. I've lost so many people by now, but that's okay. Because this is real. This is real. I understand that men have a hard life. And it shows on them. I've talked to some men, like, briefly, and I really was gonna, the last few guys I tried to talk to, it was kind of like physically, maybe I can just get to like you. Like, really, it's been like that for a long time for me. Like, and I'm tired of it being like that. I want to look at a guy and be like, oh my God, you are sexy to me. But like, it's just, you're, and the short thing, I don't care. I'm 5'6", 7. I would like a guy taller than me. But if you're in good shape, and I could tell you can hold your own if we're being attacked by a horde of BLM wackos, great. If you can stand your own, but, if you're some short, fat, bald guy who has eaten fast food in the last week or two, that's your like main substance, or if you eat it at all, and I just don't understand. I don't even know how to gracefully say that. Like, maybe I should talk to some other women. I have some really pretty women that I'm talking to right now that are single, that are of God. It's amazing. I have like 5 friends who are like seriously top tier looks single. 9 out of 10s beauty wise. All Christians and just all single like me. I'm guessing they're single for the same reason as me. But I don't know how to tell a man, like. And then in the last 24 hours, I'm in a funk anyway. So one guy, like, why would I date you? Like, why? Like, I don't see anything that would add to my life because it's so attractive to me. There's a few men on my feed too, and I'm watching it. They're not interested in women anymore, but I'm watching some men who are like improving their lives on a day-to-day basis, and it's so sexy. Like to see a guy work out every day or learn how to cook or like lose weight and work hard for it and show or like fight for his children. That's very, very sexy to me because it shows that they worked hard for something, and that's what I want to say to men, like, well, why? Because I don't know if anybody like wants to scroll through my Facebook page. I sit here in the kitchen all day and I cook beautiful things for people around town and I help people. There's a girl over cleaning up from heroin right now. I've been making her soup. I'm gonna go pick up her cat and I'm gonna watch her cat for a few months until she gets clean. And I'm helping with her baby. I've sent pictures with the baby, and I'm helping that family too. And my best friend has 2 kids, and they were sick yesterday, and I'm helping them. And I keep a beautiful house. Like, I cook all day, and like there's things going on. I'm gardening, I'm growing plants. I have things going on in my life. And I read a lot. I read a book or two a week. And I hang out at the library. I like my life is rich of experiences. And I can't just like, and during the summer, I have a wraparound deck, and I bought this like good lounge chair, and I sit and stare at the stars for like, I watch a sunset every night, every single night. I go and I walk to a cornfield around here, and I get in lotus position. I watch a sunset, and then there's a 90-minute break between sunset and the star rise. I call it star rise because the stars come up one by one, and I sit there and wait for the first star. I just wait. I'm always excited because I always know what the first star is going to be. And that's my life, and it's happy. And then like, a man comes into my life who like got drunk last night and he doesn't even look that good. So even if taking him on, I'm like, the first thing I'd have to do is get you healthy because you look like shit, and then see if you look good after I get you healthy because you just look bad. Like just because you have a penis doesn't mean I want it. So, I think I'm just done with that. I think I'm just gonna, I don't know how to start telling men. I'm gonna talk to another woman about how to tell men this, or just start like just ignoring men. Like unless I'm like extremely physically attracted to you, and it should be the same way both ways. Like unless I like could see myself being intimate with you in the first like 30 seconds of looking at you, I don't want it because I've tried to make this attraction thing work too much, and I think I've hurt a few men too because one guy I think I hurt last year. I met him in person. I did meet him on Facebook, and he wasn't. Like I'm sold this thing like give men a chance, give men a chance. Don't think like don't be one of those hot girls who gives no men a chance. Don't be one of those hot girls. Don't be one of those hot girls. I'm like, I'm not one of those hot girls. I just it's a biblical thing, evenly yoked. So maybe that's the resolution. Can't believe I'm telling the world this, that I'm done with ugly men or men that I don't find attractive. But maybe I should have said that at 14 because the very first man that I, unfortunately, at that age, had sex with for years, I didn't find him attractive like at all. I used to close my eyes during sex, So, um, so I'm gonna post this. Have a good day.